Adopted son comes home and finds his dad begging food from his neighbor. Nicholas Hale, a billionaire everyone admired, never thought the man who gave him everything would end up on a neighbor's porch, bowl in hand, begging for scraps. His father, Isaiah Bennett, the old black man who once starved himself just to send Nicholas to school, stood trembling as strangers whispered about him. Nicholas froze, remembering the sacrifices. The nights Isaiah went hungry, the days he sold everything so his boy could stand tall. In that moment, the polished mask of success cracked. Nicholas knew money meant nothing if the man who made him was left hungry. What he did next would change both their lives forever. Before we go any further, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring you even more powerful stories. Now let's begin. The old man steadies himself on a peeling fence, breath thin in the afternoon heat. Isaiah Bennett, stooped shoulders, careful steps, shirt washed to a tired gray, crosses the dusty yard with a small enamel bowl tucked to his chest. He taps his knuckles on a neighbor's door, then folds them back, polite, almost apologetic. Oil and onions drift through the doorway. Isaiah keeps his eyes down. "If there's anything left," he says, voice low, a little winded. "Just a spoon or two." A hinge complains. The neighbor, Mrs. Dorsey, vanishes. Returns with a ladle of stew, careful not to spill. Isaiah's fingers tremble as he grips the bowl. He nods, grateful, mouth working around words that don't quite come. Across the street, two men behind a hedge whisper. "Not unkind, not brave either." "Bennett again," one mutters. That boy of his is rich now, right?" Rich. Never around though. You know how that goes." Tires hush over gravel. A black sedan noses onto the block. Glass dark, paint flawless. The engine settles into a quiet purr. The door opens on a man in a dark jacket who pauses like he stepped into another lifetime. Nicholas Hale. The composed face everyone knows from magazine covers and conference stages. He doesn't move for a beat. He just looks. Air conditioning slips from the car like cold breath. Nicholas sets a hand on the roof, grounds himself, then closes the door gently. A tap of his thumb against his palm. Slow inhale. He walks. Isaiah doesn't see him yet. He's busy thanking Mrs. Dorsey, bowl tilted so the stew doesn't slush. He tries to stand a little taller, winces, adjusts his stance. The sun finds the lines around his eyes and makes them deeper. Nicholas stops at the edge of the fence. He swallows once. The old man's shoes are split at the seam. His cuffs are neat though, ironed with care. Nicholas notices the care, he notices the shaking, and something in him, something he's been keeping busy on purpose, goes quiet. Behind the hedge, the whisperers clock the car. That's him. No way. Way. Mrs. Dorsey spots Nicholas first. Her chin lifts, wary but impressed. "You looking for someone, sir?" Nicholas wets his lips. His voice doesn't come out at first, so he nods instead. Eyes never leaving Isaiah. He takes one more step, then another, as if moving through thicker air. Micro shifts, jaw unclenches, shoulders drop, fingers open and close like he's testing a grip he hasn't used in years. Isaiah turns finally. He blinks at the silhouette. The shine of it. The posture he knows even in a stranger's suit. For a second, he looks like a man caught without his hat. He edges the bowl to his left hand. The right one he rubs on his pant leg. Nervous habit, old as memory. Nicholas's gaze flicks to the enamel rim, to the stew cooling in the breeze. A tiny shake of his head. Disbelief, regret, both. He exhales just a whisper. "Dad." The word hangs there, thin as a thread. Mrs. Dorsey clears her throat softly, fills the space. "Mr. Bennett, you take that inside now before it gets cold." It's an excuse for dignity, and she means it. Isaiah nods, grateful. Then to Nicholas, almost smiling because he's polite when he's unsure. "Afternoon." From the hedge. "Man, if that were my father." "Shoo, let them be. Let the man stand up first." Nicholas doesn't rush. He isn't here to stage a scene or flex a wallet. He just reaches for the latch, steady hands, slower breath. The gate gives with a tired click. Gravel shifts under his shoes. He crosses the short distance like crossing years. Each step careful, measured, earned. He doesn't take the bowl. He doesn't make promises. Not yet. He stops an arm's length away, shoulders square, eyes bright with something he can't blink back. The silence between father and son stretches. But instead of filling it, Nicholas just follows. Isaiah shuffles back into the house with that chipped enamel bowl cradled close. Nicholas walks behind him, every step echoing against old wooden floorboards. Inside, the air carries a mixture of starch and soap, clean but thin. The curtains are hand-stitched, edges frayed. The same cracked mug sits on the table. The same squeaky fan turns like it had when Nicholas was a boy. He remembered. He remembered everything. Isaiah sets the stew down gently, almost reverently, like it's a feast. He whispers grace under his breath. Nicholas's throat tightens, watching the man bow his head for scraps. And just like that, the memories drag him backward. School shoes too tight but new. A satchel packed with books he never thought he'd own. Isaiah bent over a sewing machine at midnight, glasses slipping down his nose, fingers calloused but steady. The day Isaiah sold his only cow just to cover exam fees. Neighbors had whispered then too, why pour all that into a boy who isn't even his blood? Crazy. He'll regret it. But Isaiah never answered back. He just tightened his belt one notch thinner and worked harder. Nicholas sits at that same kitchen table, tracing knife marks and oil stains like lines on a map. Outside, two voices drift from the fence. Bennett could have had a better life if he hadn't poured himself into that boy. And look at the boy now. Billionaire doesn't even come home. Nicholas freezes, jaw flexing. The neighbors are right. He has been gone. Always busy. Always promising, next quarter, after the deal closes. Years vanished, and so had Isaiah's strength. Isaiah finally breaks the silence, not with reproach, but a chuckle. You remember that blue blazer for graduation? Didn't fit in the shoulders, but you stood taller than any of those boys. Thought you were flying. Nicholas closes his eyes. He remembers. He remembers not just the blazer but the hunger Isaiah hid that day. Nicholas whispers, I left you here. I left you hungry. Isaiah waves it off. Son, don't shame yourself. You were busy building. That's what I wanted for you. But Nicholas's voice cracks. You gave me everything, Dad. You starved so I could eat. You worked so I could walk into rooms I didn't deserve. And where was I when you needed someone to just sit beside you? The billionaire mask crumbles. His shoulders shake. Tears streak his face. Isaiah reaches across the table, places his rough hand over Nicholas's. I didn't do it so you'd thank me. Love doesn't need thanks, it just gives. Nicholas bends forward, forehead against his father's knuckles, breathing ragged. Outside, neighbors whisper again. Look at him. All the money in the world and he's still that boy in Mr. Bennett's shadow. Another replies softly. Sometimes it takes a lifetime to see who really raised you. Nicholas straightens, wiping his tears, then speaks louder. No more scraps, no more suffering. Dad, you're coming home with me. I will never let you stand on anyone's porch begging again. The murmurs outside fall silent. Neighbors watch as Nicholas steadies his father, helps him outside. Sunlight spills across the porch, lighting the sight of a billionaire holding up a frail old man as if he were the most precious thing in the world. Nicholas opens the sedan door himself, eases Isaiah inside. You'll live with me now. No more scraping. No more loneliness. You'll eat at my table. And everyone I meet will know the name of Isaiah Bennett, because you are the reason I breathe. Isaiah's eyes shine. Not with pride, not with relief, but with quiet peace. That night, the mansion glows on the hill. Isaiah sits at a grand dining table, whispering grace like always. Nicholas doesn't eat at first, he just watches his father smile. Later, at a charity gala, Nicholas stands before cameras, arm around Isaiah. This man taught me the meaning of wealth. He fed me when he was starving, he clothed me when he was bare. If you see me as a billionaire, remember I am only the shadow of his sacrifice. The room falls silent. Dignity restored, Isaiah lifts his chin. This story doesn't end with pity, it ends with balance. The father who once begged for scraps now walks halls of marble, not as a guest, but as a man honored by the very son he raised. And Nicholas finally understands, all the fortune in the world means nothing if you forget the one who built your future with empty stomachs and sleepless nights. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share it with someone who needs hope today, and don't forget to subscribe, because we have more powerful stories coming your way.